Coming to you from the floor of the 2024 NAB Show, Brandon Costa from Sports Video Group. Thrilled to be catching up with some of the technology leaders in the sports video production space. And of course, that includes AWS. We're joined by Julie Souza from AWS. Julie, always a pleasure to see you, and thanks so much for taking some time for us on a very busy week.
Always happy to be here with you.
Now, cloud is among one of the many big topics that's being discussed a lot here, and y'all might have one of the best stories in the industry going on right now in terms of sports. You're sharing your story with the NHL, which we've covered on our website. You're doing some things with PGA Tour. What specifically are you guys showing and launching as it pertains to what maybe some of those sports brands are doing?
Yeah, I love it. And so what we're doing with the NHL, and that we're going to be talking about a little bit later today too, with a couple of the executives from the NHL, is their foray into live cloud production, which has been a little over a year coming, starting with proofs of concept, doing world feeds, that actually ultimately led to, as you reported, a live cloud production of an NHL game on March 22nd. So a game entirely produced in the cloud went to air. And I think that's just the beginning. I mean, I think they have grand ambition. We certainly do in terms of moving the industry in that direction, because the benefits are just, really powerful. There's cost savings at scale. There's certainly time savings, right? I was talking with Michael Raimondo from the PGA Tour a little earlier, and he was talking about how it used to be 3.5, 4 days of setup. That's now like an hour, right? So you're saving a lot of time there. The carbon footprint is spectacularly reduced. I think that at scale will be a very powerful story to tell. And then access to diversity of talent. I think that's another really compelling part of live cloud production. So that's some of what we're talking about today. We've got some stories around generative AI and how that can be used in sport. So really excited.
In the more engaged work that you're doing with some of your sports clients, I'm sure they are learning a lot. What would you say that AWS is learning along the way? Like in the NHL example, what are some of the key takeaways that you guys have brought back and has maybe helped formulate what you're showing here at the show this week?
Yeah, look, we always work backwards from the customer. We always say that, right? And it's true. It's what are the problems that they're trying, the use cases that they need to hit. We've historically had this linear, like one-to-many pipe sort of relationship in media, right? And now with the proliferation of streaming platforms, you can actually create much more bespoke broadcasts. And so understanding how do you want to lean and talk to your various audiences at the NHL, we can help them do that through live cloud production, because then you can have a analytics-focused feed, for example, which is something the NHL actually did on March 22nd as well. But you've also seen them experiment in other alt feeds. They did the Big City Greens execution. Obviously, they just did, or are just doing an execution with Warner Brothers Discovery, right? Exactly. So it sort of opens the doors to how do they want to take their content and make it available either regionally or to different personas or markets or demographics. That sort of flexibility informs how we help develop solutions to serve those needs.
So cloud, generative AI, relationships with some of your clients and everything like that. Someone like you who's so involved at a brand like this, what are some of maybe your goals or hopes or conversations that you really hope to have at this show this week?
Oh my gosh, you're asking me. I love that question. I really would love to see live cloud production just be modus operandi in the industry, just because I think the benefits are so important and so, meaningful. So I think that is one big thing. Generative AI, I'd like to see that take some of the operational load off of folks so that they can be freed up to create these new experiences for fans. So get more creative energy, focus at creative things rather than mundane tasks. So I think we're seeing a lot in that space. Data and analytics is a huge part of this too. How do you mine the data of sports to tell new stories? That's a lot of traction too. So I think, it's sort of a limitless well, and that's what's really exciting about it, Brandon. So.
Sure. Cool stuff going on here at the AWS booth at the 2024 NAB Show. Come find them in the West Hall. They're hard to miss. They're right there at the front door. Julie, thanks so much for taking the time. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
A pleasure. Thanks so much.
For more of everything going on here at the 2024 NAB Show, you can head to our website at sportsvideo.org.